Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part 27 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, where we go from having a quick, easy 13-minute part to a long, drawn-out 23-minute part. We've got a lot to do in today's part, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with a battle with our rival. This is the second time that it's an option to battle your rival. You don't actually have to go up against them. You know, they give you the option. Do you want to battle against me? Yes or no? But we kind of want that free experience, so we say yes. And it's not relatively that hard of a battle. In some cases, your rival's Marshtomp could be an issue to go up against. But luckily for me, with Solrock having the ability to levitate, I'm completely fine. Because in this battle, Marshtomp does not know any water-style moves. Knows 2 ground moves and 2 normal type moves, and one of the ground moves is Mud Sport, which doesn't have any effect with us anyways. Knows Mud Sport, and I think it's a not Sludge Bomb, that's the poison one. It's what is it, Mud Bomb or something like that, which is a ground type move, and then it knows Takedown and I think Growl. And that's really about it. So because Marshtomp doesn't have any water type moves, Solrock is completely free to just wail on him all day long. No problem. Takedown's going to do no damage to me and can't hit me with anything else. So relatively easy one to go, but I could see where Marshtomp could be a problem for some players if they do not have a Pokemon that has Levitate or a flying Pokemon up to this point. Aside from that, pretty good. Ludicolo being another option to go against. This is one that I actually found out recently while looking through this particular battle against the rival. I was actually unaware that depending on what starter you get changes what kind of Pokemon you go against, not just starter-wise, but some of the other Pokemon that you go against in rival battles. I've never once played this game not using Torchic in the beginning. Okay, that's all I've ever gone with. So I'm used to going against Ludicolo in this battle and in earlier battles as well. And then I was looking through and found out that if you took Mudkip or what's the other one's name? Snivy. Snivy, is that right? The one that goes into Seviper? Anyways. Or do I even have that right at all? I don't even know. I do not know the grass starter for Gen 3 whatsoever. Never once used it. But if you go for one of those two, instead of a Ludicolo, it is a Pelipper you go against, I guess. And it's just completely different. But I'm used to going against the Ludicolo because I've only ever taken Torchic because I like my fire starters. What can I say? Anyways, rival battle's over, and that opens up the way to get to the big department store of Lily Cove City. Quite a lot of options that you can actually pick up around here. I will be going back. I don't go into this part, but off camera I will be going into it to give myself some max repels. You can pick up some Ultra Balls if you were so looking to do so. I'm probably going to, just so I can, once again, continue the joke of trying to catch legendary Pokemon, even though all of us watching this know I'm not going to be successful, and at most I'm probably going to get one legendary with the Master Ball. That's really about it, though. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's also the area where you can buy yourself your Hyper Beam, Thunder, Blizzard, and Fire Blast. Talk to this gentleman, you get yourself the TM for a rest as well. Yeah, you get yourself those big hitting moves along with some of the other ones. You can get, I think it's, what are they called again? It's a light screen and the other screen move that protects. So a bunch of TMs that you can pick up. And if you go to the roof, you can talk to one of the people up there in order to get yourself the TM. Well, not the TM. You just learn it once. You learn the move Substitute. You don't get the TM move for Substitute, you just learn it from that person. And it is a one-time use. So it acts like a TM, but you don't get to carry it around in your bag. You just got to go find that person and have them teach you the move Substitute. A little bit curious, but nothing too bad. But what was interesting about it is because it's not a TM, it doesn't show up in the set of items that you can actually pick up in this area. So my immediate thought is there's probably a number of other people that I could have talked to learn certain moves that I haven't yet. And I'm going to go on my way and take a look into that, make sure that I haven't missed that, and if I have, go back, do some backtracking for moves that I feel like I need, but even more importantly, at least let you guys know where you can find these particular moves. Because again, I'm mostly just trying to find items here. and I'm not going to go around and try and talk with every single person. I've done that in the past. I'm not going to remember it entirely. So, that's all it's going to be. But with Lily Cove City out of the way for the time being, we will be coming back. We saw some Team Aqua members hanging around there, so we'll be back for them in no time. But we got to take care of some stuff first. First off, the Safari Zone. Now, the thing with the Safari Zone is it's not complete. Apparently, if you try to go to the eastern side of the Safari Zone, you're going to have two people standing in the way saying, hey, it's under construction, you can't go through here. So we are going to have to look to make 2 trips to Safari Zone. But why am I going out of my way to do it this time already if I know I can't do all of it? Well, because 2 particular items you need to get. One of them you're going to need the mock bike to get to, which since I already had it and it was in the area that wasn't under construction, no problem. Let's go ahead and just get it right now. But another area later on is only accessible if you have the acro bike. So you do need both bikes in order to take care of the whole entire Safari Zone. So I figure, let's go get the items of the part that's not under construction, -1. There's one area, but we need the acro bike to get to that area that's not under construction. But I figure, let's go ahead, use the mock bike, get ourselves solar beam, as well as the other item. I think it was like, what, a max revive or something like that. And then call it good on the Safari Zone for now. And we will come back to the Safari Zone later when the other part is open up with the acro bike, so we can get the rest of the items there. And during that time, I will actually go through all the areas and the Pokemon you can catch in those particular areas. We're not exactly worried about that for the time being. I assume the second half of the Safari Zone might take up a full part, because I'll just show it off. I don't think in Gen 1 I really showcased how to do the Safari Zone. And I'm assuming not a lot of people need to know how to. But just in case, I think it's best to showcase it in its entirety. I'll see if I can catch a cool Pokemon or 2. You never know. Let's just make it a bit of a fun part. But we're also going to need it to be a little bit long, because there's a list of Pokemon that I do need to go out of my way to go over stat-wise anyways. With that said, we are now on I believe it's called Mt.Pyre, if I am not mistaken. Basically just a play on the word of pyro. So basically it's just a big ass fire mountain, and that's really all there is to it. And if you guys will give me a second, I gotta get my stat sheet up here. Got stat sheet up for just about everything else except for Mt.Pyre. So with talking about the stat sheets, let's go ahead and go to that really quick. When we were in the Lily Cove City, if you were surfing around that area, you have a 60% chance to get yourself a tentacle with a 35% chance it's a wingle and 5% chance for a pelipper. If you are fishing within Lily Cove City, you have a 30% chance for a tentacle and a 70% chance for a Magikarp using the old rod. Good rod gives you a 20% chance for a tentacle with a 60% chance for a Magikarp, 20% chance for a Whalmer. And with the super rod, you have a 15% chance for a Staryu and an 85% chance for a Whalmer. On Route 122, heading down to Mt.Pyre, you have a 60% chance for a tentacle with a 35% chance and a wingle and a 5% chance for a pelipper. With the fishing aspect being a 30% chance for a tentacle, 70% chance for a Magikarp with the old rod, 20% chance for a tentacle, 60% chance for a Magikarp, and 20% chance for a Whalmer. And with the super rod, it is a 40% chance for a Sharpedo and a 60% chance for a Whalmer. Before we continue on with the stats of the Pokemon you can get in and around Mt.Pyre anyways, another thing that I did forget to bring mention to, if you notice, and I went on my way to showcase it in the video, but I was too busy talking about other things for the time being, is that in Lily Cove City, that is where you can find yourself the move deleter, the one that I've been looking for some time now. The sad thing was, I thought that the move deleter was in Moss Deep City, and it was actually in Lily Cove. So when I went on my way to pick up that Lombre so I could teach it strength, I kind of didn't really need to. I could have already deleted Rock Break off of Blaziken and taught it strength by then. But yeah, completely misread it. So my bad on that. Sorry. I don't. It's not a huge deal. It's more of a sorry to me for going on my way to get that Lombre in the first place to teach it strength when I could have just, taught to Blaziken this whole entire time, but whatever. I mostly get rid of Rock Break because it's a really weak move. It's only good for exploration and for getting Geodudes and maybe some random items. Well, actually, I think that didn't even start till Gen 4 on the items. I just know that you can run into Pokemon, which is mostly Geodude. And who knows, maybe like a Dunsparce sometime in the future. I'm not exactly sure. But aside from that one area in Route 111 that we're not really going to be going back to anyways, the thing is, we don't really need Rock Break anymore, that I'm aware of anyways. Again, my memory is horrible. I'll probably need it further down the line. But if I do need it further down the line, I'd much rather teach it to a Pokemon that I'm not planning on using because of how weak Rock Break is as a move. And I'd much rather be teaching Strength to Blaziken, because at least then I have an attack, a normal attack that has a power of 80 with it. I'd much rather just have that for the time being anyways. I think really the only other move that I'll probably be looking to put on Blaziken, because I do like having Flare Kick. I will probably get rid of it for Flamethrower though, once Blaziken hits the ability to learn Flamethrower. In fact, I think Blaziken can learn Flamethrower in Gen 3. I'm going to take a quick look at that, because I'm not 100% sure on that. Blaziken. I do believe Blaziken can learn Flamethrower, but I don't want to make statements saying I'm 100% certain and end up being wrong, even though it happens to me literally all the time. But hey, I'm always okay with trying to dodge that. Does not learn Flamethrower on its own. Thank God I went on my way and clarified that to myself. So Blaze Kick is actually going to be the best fire type move that we are going to learn. I could teach a Flamethrower, but I do know you have to beat you do have to gamble in order to get it. You have to do it at that gambler's place, so that's a big no on that. And I could teach it Fire Blast, but I'd much rather have, what is it, a 90% chance to hit as opposed to an 85% chance to hit. I don't know, maybe 85% is not that bad. I could go back and learn Fire Blast. Interesting conundrum here, because I basically gain an extra, what is it, 35 damage for 5% loss in accuracy? I gotta say, that's kind of worth. I might want to take a look into that. The only problem is that Fire Blast only has a usage of 5 as opposed to 10. I could use the PP ups that I have been finding and replace that, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. And then aside from that, the only other move that I'm probably going to end up teaching Blaziken for the time being is giving him the TM Brick Break as a means to get rid of Light Screen and that, what is it, Mirror Screen. I can't remember what the name of the other one is. God, my brain is just not working today. And keep that until I can hit the ability to learn Sky Uppercut, but that's going to be quite a ways away. So we'll see on that. I'm not exactly sure what the plan for Blaziken is, and I've been using that as a means to distract myself from this god-awful battle that I had to do, because I did everything completely wrong in this battle, and yeah, I just wanted to distract myself from having a look at it, and hopefully I distracted you guys too, because it doesn't matter. We beat him at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that I made a whole bunch of really bad decisions and got Milotic completely destroyed. Nah, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Yeah, who cares? One thing I do want to mention before we start going into the stats of the Pokemon in this area, in this next battle that we are going to be doing, the Psychic that we are going against, be careful, because it being a double battle, and the fact that this Psychic has a Wobbuffet, this Wobbuffet does know the move Destiny Bond, and we want to not lose our Pokemon, because Destiny Bond hits both of your Pokemon. And that happened to me in my test run, and I lost both Sableye and Milotic, and did not want that to happen. So definitely be careful on that. Anyways, aside from that, sorry about that, folks. Taking a look outside here, and man, it's going to be a very windy day today. Oh well, we're used to it where I live. On Mt.Pyre, we have 3 separate areas that you can catch Pokemon. There's the interior, where we're at right now, the exterior, which leads to the outside area, Doi, and then there's the summit. Right now, we are only going to be in the interior, so I'm just going to go over the stats for that. If you are playing the Sapphire and Emerald version of this game, you have a 100% chance of running into a Shuppet. And if you're playing the Ruby version, is a 100% chance for a Duskull. These are floors 1 through 3. On floors 4 through 6, in the Ruby version, you have a 10% chance to catch a Shuppet, with a 90% chance that it's a Shuppet in the Sapphire and Emerald version, and the reverse 90% chance for a Duskull in the Ruby version, with it being a 10% chance in the Sapphire and Emerald versions. So this is around the point where you know, if you hadn't already gone out of your way to get yourself a Sableye to get an easy dark ghost type, and you still really want that ghost type, here you go. Mt.Pyre basically gives it all for you. Shuppet, Duskull, take your pick, whichever one you want. In my opinion, out of all of them, Sableye is going to be the better pick, because getting the darkness along with the ghost on top of it, again, he has no weaknesses in this generation whatsoever, only takes normal type damage, has immunity to 3 other types, and has a good wide range of moves that you can learn. One of which we're going to be getting at the end of this video is learning Shadow Ball, so we can finally get rid of that other ghost move. What was it? Oh my goodness, Nightshade. We can finally get rid of Nightshade and actually learn a good ghost type move in Shadow Ball. So, Sableye, looking really good for our team right about now. Not exactly sure what else I plan on changing with Sableye as far as move goes. Part of me actually does want to go back to the move tutor guy and give it a hard scale to reteach knockoff to Sableye, because theft is pretty good, but I think knockoff is just going to be that much better for the later fights where I am going to be going against Pokemon that do have held items that could pose a bit of a problem. Getting that, you know, just getting an easy fake out for some quick damage and then using knockoff immediately after to get rid of those troublesome items could prove very beneficial for me, as opposed to theft, where it's only a small chance that I take their item. And even then, I don't think it's like, I don't know if it works like Bug Bite does in later gens, where Bug Bite, if they're holding onto a berry, it'll consume that berry, which to me is just one of the coolest moves that's, in my opinion, ever been made, where it's like, not only are you punishing your opponent for holding a berry, but you're double punishing them because you are going to be gaining the effect as well. Like, that is so cool to me. And I don't know if theft works exactly the same way, so I'd much rather just have knockoff. I mostly got rid of knockoff for theft for the damage boost on it, but once I learned feint attack, it kind of didn't matter anymore, because how many times did you see me use theft ever since I taught it? Probably once for fun, and that was really about it. It doesn't matter that knockoff does less damage. The ability that we get off of it is miles more important. So I think I am going to go back and switch that off. But with that, I think I might already have the good moveset that I want for Sableye. Let me take a look. You know, this part's still going on for about a good number of minutes, and I want to take a quick look at like move lists and what I want to teach certain Pokemon. And since Sableye is the main runner of this part, let's go ahead and just get ourselves an idea going on here. What else can I learn in the future? I did not know that Sableye just learns Shadow Ball in its own right, so that was a waste of a TM on my part. Though I don't believe I would have taught Shadow Ball to any other Pokemon. How close was Sableye to learning Shadow Ball? About 5 levels off. I think learning Shadow Ball this early is actually a little bit more beneficial in my opinion, and I don't think anyone else on my team would have really benefited that much out of Shadow Ball, except for maybe, oh boy, I think Solrock could have actually gotten a good use out of it. Yeah, oh boy, that's a mistake that I made. Oh well. Solrock should be okay without a move like Shadow Ball. He's not going to get a stab off of Shadow Ball anyways, so I don't think it's all going to be that bad. I'm going to be teaching it Psychic later on, which is even superior, which is more superior anyways. And then, let's see here. Solrock's actually really close to learning Rock Slide, so that's good. So Rock Slide over Rock Throw. It will learn Solar Beam on its own, which is pretty good. Explosion could be good for later uses, but that's not going to be for a while. What else could I be teaching that... God, you know what? I made a huge mistake, because I could have had Psychic, Shadow Ball, Rock Slide, and then Rock Tomb that I probably could have switched with Solar Beam. But now I've got Psychic, Rock Slide, Rock Tomb, and Solar Beam. Yeah, that was a bit of a wrong move. I could teach it Overheat for some good coverage style moves, I guess. What else is there that I could learn? I actually, you know what? Maybe I'll teach Solrock Fire Blast. I think that might actually be the better option if I just teach Solrock Fire Blast. So Fire Blast over Shadow Ball, that's okay. Still kind of a wrong move by me to teach Shadow Ball to Sableye. I thought it could only learn it through a TM, but that's a complete mistake on my part. Anyway, so let's see. We'll have Knockoff, we'll have Shadow Ball, Feint Attack, and then Fake Out. What other moves could I potentially teach that would be good? Because right now, Feint Attack's the best dark move that Sableye can learn. I could teach it Double Team, but I've never liked the idea of a setup move that's not like if it's more of a guarantee, like if I use Double Team, yeah, it increases the chance that my opponent misses, but I'd much rather use Fake Out, get the guarantee damage and the flinch, and then just kind of go from there. But especially when playing, you know, this style game where I just prefer to one-shot everything, yeah, I think having Feint Attack, Shadow Ball, Knockoff, and Feint Attack is... Not Feint Attack, Fake Out. Fake Out, there we go. So Fake Out, Feint Attack, Shadow Ball. Yeah, no, I think that's actually a pretty good set right there. There's not really much else I'd like to throw in instead, personally. Okay, cool. So Sableye is at its peak, in my opinion. I just need to go out my way and get rid of Thief and teach it Knockoff again, because I think Knockoff's just a better move. Anyways, let me look into Thief here. Like, what's the biggest thing here on Thief? Inflicts damage, steals the target's held item if it has one. An item cannot be stolen if target has the sticky hold ability. Okay, yeah. Wild Pokemon cannot steal the player's Pokemon's held item. Okay, but does that mean I get to keep it? Like, that's the biggest thing. Has a Whoa, wait. Gen 2, it has a 99.6% chance to steal the target's held item if it has one. The user does not... Oh, and the user does not have one. Thief cannot steal an item if the Pokemon is a substitute. Held mail cannot be stolen. Okay. So basically, I have to remove the sunglasses off a Sableye in order for Thief to work. You know, maybe Thief's actually not all that bad as opposed to Knockoff then. The problem is, like, here's the thing. So if I do that, by having the sunglasses on anyways, if I have the sunglasses on and use Knockoff, getting the boost from having the sunglasses, I believe, makes up for if I didn't have sunglasses and just used Thief anyways. So... Unless there's, but then again, I don't think in the middle of a battle I have the option to take a item off of Sableye to then use Thief. I think Knockoff's just going to be the better move. Okay, so we actually got Sableye figured out there. So Sableye, I'm going to go back, reteach it Knockoff instead of Thief. And then I think Sableye is probably the best that I'm going to have him for the entirety of this run. So pretty good on that. Just got to give him a couple more level ups there. Still a massive mistake teaching him the Shadow Ball because I was very unaware that he learned it on his own. I thought he was only capable of learning it through a TM. But again, I'll be teaching Fire Blast to Soul Rock instead of Shadow Ball in its place. I think that'd be pretty decent right there. And I think I'd much rather have Blaze Kick on Blaziken for the time being. Okay. I don't ever plan on using Overheat because I don't like the drawback that Overheat has. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could teach Overheat to Soul Rock, and then once Soul Rock learns Explosion, it could be like a final hoorah. You Overheat one Pokemon, and then you use Explosion later on. But again, the way I like doing these, like, I don't want to like really teach it Explosion. And then it's like, after every single battle, I have to revive it, then go back and re-battle. That doesn't seem all that fun to me, so I think I'm just going to teach Fire Blast to Soul Rock. Anyways, with that said, that's the end of the part, ladies and gentlemen. We pretty much spent the whole entire time talking about nothing but move lists for my Pokemon. But hey, sometimes that's just how it goes down. But with that said, hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we will catch you all on the next part.